Assalamu alaikum everyone, peace be upon you all. It's me again, Bahijah, the lad Sheibanee, your BCBA. I hope you all are doing good, staying safe and healthy. Today's topic is going to be on punishment, which is one of the principles of ABA and the least preferred behavior change strategy. Before you implement any punishment procedures, make sure that you have exhausted all your reinforcement options. And also make sure you're doing that alongside with reinforcement. That way you get a very good outcome. Punishments is a hard topic. There's a lot of unnecessary stigma surrounding the word punishment. I'm thinking because of the improper usage of the procedure, or the concept not really understood, or maybe because of its past negative experiences. But when punishment procedures are well understood, it can be a very helpful tool used appropriately in different settings. Now, punishments. It is the adding or removal of something in the environment with the likelihood that the behavior will reduce or decrease in the future. We are putting something in or taking something away from the environment, hoping that in the future the behavior will reduce. Just like reinforcement, this is done immediately the behavior occurs. We are not waiting, or we are not doing it the least amount of it. We are doing it immediately and making sure that we are using the best punishment at that moment. There are two types of punishment procedures. We have the type 1, which is the positive punishment, and type 2, which is the negative punishment. Now let's talk about the positive punishment. Positive punishment is when we add something to the environment with the likelihood that in the future the targeted behavior would decrease. So I'm adding something in the environment and I'm hoping that in the future the behavior will reduce. There are 5 types of positive punishments. We have the reprimand, which is the either the verbal punishment or the vocal punishment. Mom saying stop, or someone saying don't do that. That is reprimand. It's a punishment procedure. Overcorrection. We have 2 types of that. We have the restitutional overcorrection, or we have the positive overcorrection. Restitutional overcorrection. Example of that is when you're chewing a gum and you decide to put the gum, you take it out of your mouth and you put it under the desk in the class, and your teacher sees you doing that. Now he tells you to take that gum out and go around all the desk and take all the gum stuck under there. So he's not just letting you take yours away, but making sure that you're making the whole environment clean, right? So that is overcorrection, restitutional overcorrection. Positive overcorrection. Example of that would be that you're talking too much in class, or you're using swearing words in class, and then the teacher hears that and he tells you, okay, right, I'm not going to talk in class 100 times or 200 times just to serve as a punishment, so that you will not do that in the future. So, you sit in the class and write, I will not talk in class, I will not talk in class. And you might not like that because your other peers are looking at you do that. So that is also punishment. That is positive overcorrection. We have the third one, which is shock, electric shock. So this is actually done with individuals who are very aggressive and could cause harm to themselves or to other people around them. So you do that to just numb them, to be able to take control of them. This can be seen used in the psych wards when individuals are really very aggressive. They get a little bit of this electric shock just to numb them and then get them into control. It can also be used when arresting somebody, like the taser, right? You tase this person to numb the person so you can arrest it when they're being aggressive towards you. We have the contingent exercise. This can also be seen in schools, where maybe you're in a classroom and you're dozing off while the teacher is teaching you, and he tells you that, okay, go outside and take about 2 laps or 3 laps on the compound, and then when you come back, all the sleep will go away because you actually ran 3 laps. The fifth one is the response blocking, which is you physically blocking someone or preventing someone from doing something that is very maladaptive. Example would be that someone is trying to hit you in the face and you block their hand from hitting you. So you are adding your hand in the environment. You're adding the hand in the environment to block that. Or someone is trying to hit themselves, which is SIB, and then you're blocking it, and then they don't get to hit themselves. Those are the 5 positive punishments: reprimand, overcorrection, electric shock, contingent exercise, and response blocking. These procedures, you're adding something to the environment, and with the likelihood that the behavior would decrease in the future. Now, type 2, which is the negative punishment, is taking away something from the environment with the likelihood that the behavior would decrease in the future. I'm taking something away from the environment, and I'm hoping that in the future, the behavior will reduce. Example of negative punishment is someone doing 50 miles on a 35-mile road, and all of a sudden you hear it, "Whew!" behind you, and then the cop stops you. You get a fine or a ticket for speeding. Next time when using that road, the likelihood of the behavior going down would be high because you don't want that ticket again. So when you're using that road the next time, you make sure that you slow down. You're not going to be speeding. So your speeding behavior would decrease. That means that the tickets that was given to you and the money that was taken away from you was a punisher. And the behavior was a speeding, which will reduce in the future. There are 2 types of negative punishments: the response cost and time out. Now, response cost is you losing something that you desire or something that is reinforcing to you. We have 2 types of response cost: the direct fine or the bonus response cost. Response cost, this is when you give a client extra reinforcers so that when they emit a behavior that you don't want to see, you take something away from them. So you're not making them lose everything, but because you give them extra reinforcers, they will lose some and still have some of them left. So that is what bonus response cost. Direct fine is actually you having something that you love or you desire taken away from you. So example would be you having your money and then you being fined because of something that you did, right? So let's say medical malpractice, you're being sued. So the money that you made from practicing is being taken away from you. That is direct fine. Now, time out is the next negative punishment procedure. Time out is the second type of negative punishment. This is when you're being stopped from engaging in a preferred activity or when you're being removed from a desired activity or a desired reinforcer. There are 2 types of timeouts: the exclusionary timeout and the non-exclusionary timeout. Now, exclusionary timeout is being removed from a desired activity. You're being removed from a desired activity. We have 3 types of that exclusionary timeout. We have what we call the partition, the timeout room, or the hallway. So with the partition is You're still going to be in the environment where it's happening, but you're being blocked by a partition. So you can see or take part in the reinforcing activity. With a timeout room is you are actually being removed from the room where the reinforcing activity is happening into another room. The hallway is you also taken away from the environment where it's happening into a hallway. You're standing outside and watch. You're not even watching. You're standing outside. You can see what is happening in the room. So these are the three types of timeouts, exclusionary timeout procedures. The second one is the non-exclusionary timeout. With this procedure, the individual is not being removed from the reinforcing activity or reinforcing space. You are there, but you cannot access reinforcements. And this is one of the widely preferred because it's non-restrictive and the person can still be there, but they're just not accessing it. So you can see the individual and make sure that they are not engaging in any form of harmful behaviors. So with the non-exclusionary timeout, we have 4 types. We have the plan ignoring, the withdrawal of reinforcement, timeout ribbon, and also the contingent observation. Plan ignoring. This is when social attention is being removed. So example is if a kid is seeking attention but is doing it the wrong way. Let's say pulling mommy's hair, trying to get attention. So mom would just ignore him until he says like, excuse me, mommy, then you give attention. So that's plan ignoring. The second one is a timeout ribbon. So the kids are asked to wear ribbon in the class. So anytime someone does anything or engages in any maladaptive behavior, they are asked to take that ribbon off. So when it's off, it means you cannot access any reinforcers. And then when the ribbon is back on, then you can access reinforcement. So that is timeout ribbon. The third one is withdrawal from specific reinforcement. So with this procedure is you removing something away from the individual that is reinforcing. So example would be that kids are playing and then all of a sudden one of them start throwing the toys at one another. What you do is take the toys away from them. So now they don't have anything to, even though it's reinforcing for them, but you're taking it away until they calm down or until they learn to play appropriately. The last but not the least is the contingent observation. This is when an individual is being asked to sit down and watch others engage in a preferred or reinforcing activities. So if a kid is acting out, you tell them, okay, you sit down and watch your peers play, but you're not going to be part of it, right? So you're taking the kid away from the reinforcing activity. So that is contingent observation. These are the forms or the types of punishment procedures. So just like I said in the beginning, make sure that when you're implementing any punishment procedures, you are doing that side by side with reinforcement procedures. Also, make sure that you know how to really implement the procedures before even attempting it. Make sure that it's tailored to that individual and not because you heard it works. Thirdly, make sure it's age appropriate and do not cause any harm to the individual, because that could get you into trouble. So when implementing punishment procedures, just be careful that you have exhausted all reinforcement procedures or options before trying to attempt punishment procedures. This is the reason why a lot of people do not really want to hear the word punishments, or do not want to even use punishment procedures because they don't understand, they don't know how to implement it, it's not age appropriate. So make sure all this is being, taken care of and is part of your studies and research that you do before you do anything on that regard. I hope I was able to answer or explain what punishment procedures are all about and how to actually try to even attempt doing that. If not, just do your reinforcement procedures and make sure that you're doing it right as well. Until my next video, please do not forget to subscribe, share, like, and please, you can leave a comment, and when I see that, I'll reply to you. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you.